Hello, everyone. Thanks for tuning in to the Journey Back from Domestic Violence. I'm your girl, author Erica. Today, I have my friend Jakare on today. She's gonna tell us her story, her domestic violence story. Jakare, I just want to say thanks for taking time out your busy day of sharing, wanting to share your story because I know that could be a big thing. Everybody not in a place to share their story. So thanks for taking time to share your story because we have so many women that's out there and we just never know who listening and it can help. So I'm gonna just pass it on over to you.
For giving for doing awareness and giving other survivors a chance to tell their story. And I know that it's helping people who are going through the process or who may have gone through it in the past. Just to have a community of people who may understand what they're going through. So thank you for that. Big up to you for doing that, and all the work that you do. So again, guys, my name is Jakare Fecunda. I'm from Shreveport, Louisiana. My incident took place back in 2015, April 12th of 2015. I ended a relationship that I had been in on and off with my high school sweetheart for about 5.5 years. And it was just at a place to where I was 20 years old at the time, so I was, quite young, but I still knew enough to know that, I felt we were in like two different places and that I deserved a bit more. And we decided, uh, that I was letting him know that, and he would kind of use this to get to change my mind, feel guilty, like manipulate to make me stay. And but I was really asking about the fact that I was ready to end the relationship. And later on that night, because we were at my parents' house at the time, I didn't live with my parents. We were visiting my parents, and I just noticed that he wouldn't leave. And so he ended up going outside for a while, came back in, and asked me to go for a walk with him so we could talk. And I was like, that's pretty, normal, what I'm saying, for a big breakup, just I'll give him a chance to say what he has to say, for me to say everything I have to say, wish him well, and, go on. And so we went on that walk. And of course, at the time, I never knew that that was the beginning of what would be, a very, very serious and life changing, life threatening, chapter for me. Because
Wow.
mind you, this is someone that I love. This is someone at the time that I loved and that I trusted and that I felt like I knew really, really well. So I agreed to him, and we started out. Oh, okay. We started out in my neighborhood, just kind of making a circle like we would normally do on any other day when we were taking a
Right.
stroll. And it was on the walk as he was saying certain things to me, where I just started to, get a tingling feeling that something wasn't right. And I can remember him asking me to go off on a side street that was really, really dark. So that was weird because there are no street lights on. We've never gone in this direction. And so at that point, I was really, kind of like on edge, on alert. But mind you, before we went on the walk, because it was kind of just in the heat of the moment, like, hey, let's go for a walk. I didn't have
Uh-huh.
my phone, and he knew that. And when I said, well, let me go back and get my phone, he said, no, we already got here. Come on, let's go. So kind of trying to put a little bit of distance in between us at this point, because like I said, I noticed that it really wasn't right. So ladies, when you feel like something is wrong, listen to that intuition.
Right.
And so we get to the end of the street to where we're about to basically make the full circle and be back on my street where we started. And he's starting to get really, really fidgety. So I stopped walking. Now I put him a couple spaces ahead of me. And
Right.
I said, hey, what's wrong? He turned around. He said, nothing. I love you. And he pulled out the knife and he stabbed
Wow.
me in that same motion. And the first two stab wounds were to my stomach. And so, of course, I'm on my feet. I'm standing there in shock. And I literally said, how could you do this?
Right.
This is me. And I can, really remember a darkness kind of settling in, when someone and you can kind of see when they go to that place.
Right.
And I can remember that darkness, really scary. And so I'm screaming. And just kind of in the heat of like the the battle, he ended up stabbing me 2 more times in my back.
Wow.
He went for my face with his knife and stood my arm up, and he caught my arm. And then we were at that point down on the ground, and now I am, in shock, but I was aware enough to know that as long as I'm fighting, he's fighting with me. He's
Right.
fighting me too, and he's already winning the fight. So it just crossed my mind to play dead. And we were down on the ground. He gave me like a final. He was kind of like cradling me as if he was like holding me. And he ended up stabbing me for the last time. The sixth stab wound was to my head,
Ooh.
and that's when I played. I played dead, and I can remember him kind of sitting there with me as if he was like waiting. And he then got up and stood over me, and I'm just with everything in my mind, playing dead. But honestly, Erica, I honestly thought that I was gonna die, so it wasn't really playing dead for me.
Right.
It was, but at the same time, I was like, wow, this man just
Right. This
literally
the
is
end.
murdering me right now. Exactly. It's like you're living out a nightmare, right in front of you. So I played dead. I laid there for a second, and he stood over me as if it was like to make sure that I didn't
That
get
what
up.
you was dead.
And he ran exactly, and then he ran back in the direction of my house. So now, in pain, feeling weak, so confused, and thank God, get up. I away from
Why you
there.
want out?
I went to my neighbor's house, and
Uh-huh.
I'm ringing on the doorbell. No one answered the door, so I walked to go to the next neighbor's house. I did the same thing. I went to 3 different homes, and by the time I got to the third house, I ended up falling, and I just couldn't get up anymore. And I said, well, if maybe I can get to the edge of the street,
Right.
somebody can
So
see
somebody
me.
could see
And
you.
so I can remember, right. I can remember a truck coming by, and I was like, okay, somebody gonna see me, but they ended up turning off too quick. They
They
didn't get
didn't
to
get to
me.
where you was.
And
Okay.
right, and so I'm laying there and I'm crying and I'm screaming as loud as I could. And thankfully, one of the neighbors from across the way, she ended up hearing me, and she came out
Thank
already on the
God.
phone with right. Thank God. Already on the phone with 911. She had heard a few minutes earlier. She
Uh-huh.
actually heard parts of the struggle, and she told me verbatim. She said, I heard you guys. So I heard when you said, "How could you do this to me?" She
Right.
said, "But it was. I feel like it was somebody outside just arguing, not knowing anything else was going on." She said, "But I kind of stayed. I stuck around outside to see, if anything happened." She said, "And I heard you." And she ran out already on the phone with 911. Her son, everybody, other neighbors started to gather outside, and so they're bringing towels and everything. And I'm laying out there, and I didn't even realize how hurt I was. At
Uh-huh.
that point in time, I didn't know how many times I had been stabbed. I just knew that I was stabbed, and so I'm steady saying his name over and over. And she's like, "Is that your dad? Is that?" And I'm like, "No." She's like, "Is that who did this to you?" And I say, "Yes." And so she's on the phone with 911, and I'm saying his name over and over and over because I didn't know if I was gonna even be conscious or alive by the time
Uh-huh.
the police and everybody made it. So we're like sitting there what felt like forever, and the car pulls up. I open it's but my best friend's car, and to my surprise, my attacker, my ex-boyfriend, the house because I'm dead. He went back to the house, heard that I held him at gunpoint,
So he
and
made up the
so
whole story.
I made up the whole. So they got in the car, look for, and I just thank God that he things to her, but I'm sure that's and I heard just screaming. She's like, and someone asked him, "Who are you?" Well, she said, "You did this to her," and it's like so. I say, I'm love her. Why would I do that?
Mm-hmm.
And it just like quiet and blank. So, lady, my neighbor who was out there protecting me, she did. Thank God she had a gun,
Right.
and so they told her, you stay still, stay right there, and police quickly got right after they arrested right there on the spot. They took me to a trauma center here in Louisiana, and there I had 5 major operations. I
Why?
lost I lost my right kidney. and 40% of my liver. And they did, exploratory laparotomy, a nephrectomy. It was really, really hectic. I can remember arriving to the hospital, and I just felt like am I in heaven? Because there were so many white lights. It was like,
Right.
what's going on? And it said it. I knew what happened to me, but it was okay. Wow, I'm really here. So I'm explaining to the doctor what's going on. I'm telling him, hey, I'm bleeding from my head to
Right.
feet, and I woke up, and that's when it really set in. When I woke up, I was in the surgical ICU.
Uh-huh.
Uh, and I was kind of in and out. I can remember my family being there, my friends being there. I can remember hearing people pray for me, and I couldn't, talk. I couldn't open my eyes. I couldn't respond. Beyond that, I was intubated anyway. But I wanted to let them know that I could hear them, and that I was
Right.
there with them. And then a couple days passed by, and I woke up, and when I was finally able to move around, actually be conscious. And one of my nurses came and she said, "Yeah, it really happened." And I just broke down because it
Wow.
was like real for me.
Processing
Like
it
my
now.
body just tried to murder me. And so I went on, and I was young, so I was able to heal and recover, quickly. I was
Right,
able to
quickly.
bounce
Mm-hmm.
back, on the physical side, but then it was just like the day that I got out the hospital, that was the actual beginning of the real journey,
Yeah,
as far as
reality.
emotional healing. Exactly. Like getting back into the real world, and you know, something tragic, something unbelievable has now happened, and trying to incorporate that into my life and live a normal life,
Right.
after these circumstances. And it was a huge adjustment, not just for me, but for everyone in my life, for my family, for my friends. It altered everything that I was doing.
Mm-hmm.
And so, hold on, batteries. Didn't okay. I had a notification come up on my phone. So, from there, I started, like I had to go through physical therapy, and then I also went through emotional, like therapy for my emotions, like psychological therapy and
Uh-huh.
everything. And it was a really long process.
I
It was
bet.
about 2 years. Yeah, it was about 2 years um, of weekly, constant healing. And I tell people, sometimes stigma on we go through such traumatic experience, we need external help. And so they're very mental and helping me get back to myself, help
Right.
thing of things. And I also just being able to play a lot of times violence abuse with a lot of guilt and shame. And so I was very confused, how did this happen? Oh, how didn't I know? What did I do?
Right. Mm-hmm.
Because domestic violence was, I knew what it was, but I didn't know anybody personally who had gone through anything like that.
Right.
It was more something I saw on TV, or you hear stories, but I never thought that it would happen to me. So I
Right.
wasn't
Not me.
really educated on what to look for. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Knowing the signs, knowing when someone is manipulating you, knowing when someone is trying to, gaslight you, make you feel. I didn't know that any of those things,
Right.
were possible. So it definitely opened up my eyes to a whole different world, and it gave me a lot of empathy and sympathy for people who deal with this, because I know that some people deal with this on a daily basis for years.
Yes.
They're in relationships to where this is happening 5 years, 10 years. My situation escalated more quickly. It went from a lot of verbal,
Mm-hmm.
emotional. I was honestly more afraid that he would do harm himself. He would kind of
Okay.
guilt me in that way. Like
Okay.
I'm
Yeah.
not about to,
Mm-hmm.
see what's gonna happen. I don't know what so I never had really feared for my life. You know what I mean?
Right.
I never
Never
had
seen
feared for
that
my life.
coming.
Yeah, although he had said things, I will say this: he had said things that I just kind of rolled off, because to me, it was him just talking. So I didn't really
Right. And that
if
was a
someone
little
tells
sign
you they will
then.
hurt you, exactly. If somebody tells you they will hurt you, believe them.
Right.
If someone can even fix their lips to say that they will heal you, you know what I'm saying? Regular people aren't saying things like this. Someone who's healthy, who knows you, they're not playing with you like that. They're not testing you. They're not trying to scare you or use tactics like that. So when someone tells you something, take 100%. like tossed into whatever it is that they're saying. So I learned a lot about myself and about
Right.
domestic violence through that, through the journey. And what was it? It was 2017 when we went to trial, and
Okay.
that was very hard. Hard to deal with my anxiety, deal with having these different reactions to that I got shot. I was um became afraid of like knives, and I didn't even know what it was called. It,
You're going in and out.
you know, so it went out. I'm a person who loves to walk, and so it really changed my life on just as really and
Hmm.
way to thing. Um, regardless of see this person last time I saw them was trying to. So that it was a very scary process. I like not even going to try it. I so I don't even have a space for them. But I if I to go to trial and go through this, I know in that way or were offering me was 6 years less than I ended up getting when we went to trial. So they found guilty of
Your
murder.
phone breaking up a little bit.
Maybe okay.
Hmm.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay. They found him guilty of second-degree attempted murder in 2017, December 2017, and then in March of 2018, they sentenced him to 80 years
80
for that.
years.
Yes, ma'am. 80 years for that murder. And I'm so grateful for that because I've also realized now, Erica, in talking to a lot of other survivors, I see how common it is for a lot of them to not get justice, and that breaks my heart. So,
Right.
even with kind of with domestic violence month, it's so important because spreading awareness is just the first, just that first layer. But
Right.
if we can allow, not just our peers and our friends and family, but even people in law enforcement, even those in the judicial system, to really understand the dynamics of domestic
Right.
violence, it makes a big difference when
Yeah.
those cases come in. They can look at the victim as, a human being instead of someone who's at fault because we live in a victim blaming society. You'll be surprised. People educate, people from all walks of life,
Oh yes, I learned it too myself. Yes.
all right, exactly, all different ages, backgrounds, demographics. No one is exempt.
Hmm.
I tell everybody that no one is exempt. It doesn't matter what kind of like background you come from. I was raised in a two-parent home. Both my parents were very
Right.
loving. It's nothing that I saw. It's nothing that I like fell into the path of. You know what I'm saying? It can happen to anybody, especially when you aren't aware. And the rates are very high among the 18 to 24, age group, in that time to where a lot of us are figuring ourselves out. We're getting into those first
Yeah.
relationships,
And
the time
we listen
where,
to "I love you." The first person say "I love you."
right,
You get caught
right,
up quick.
those first relationships, they really kind of define for us what love is. And so if you never experience, a certain type of love, you may think that this is normal, that,
Right.
these kind of
Hmm.
behaviors and traits are normal, and not realize, until it's far too late that you don't have to deal with it. So it's very, very, very important for, I think for survivors to share their story, although it's hard. For me, it took me years. It was 5 years this past April that I
Okay.
turned 5 years as a survivor. But for a long time, I felt like a victim. I felt, small and hurt and damaged, and so it was, a personal journey of really walking through and dealing with each step and having that support from not just my friends and my family, but my community,
Right.
for
Outside
different
people.
outreach programs and stuff that I never even knew existed. But as when I became, a victim and a survivor of domestic violence, I was opened up to so many different, programs that my community had that kind of linked me with
Right. With other people.
who could relate or who were at least, knowledgeable about what I had been through, and that really helped me. So, domestic violence awareness remains so near and dear to my heart because I think just taking time to spotlight how often it happens, because like I
Hmm.
said, before this happened to me, I didn't know anything about it. And to find that Louisiana, my state that I've been in my entire life, has been in the top 10 for the past 10 years. That was so
Yes.
surprising to me. And I hadn't heard anything about it until, it was happening to me. So I think if we can get more people involved and just understanding and knowing what to look for in a potential abuser, and also a potential victim, because some of us are a little bit more susceptible than others to fall into those traps. So,
Right. And
once we
educate
can
yourself on
identify,
it.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
once we can identify what to look for and what it is that 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 we're seeing, because
Uh-huh.
sometimes we see things so often that it becomes normal when it's really
Right.
not at all.
It's not
And
a,
so
yeah.
I urge people, if you know someone, if you see someone, who's in a domestic situation, to please, say something to them and out, and to also be honest. A lot of times, just like stuff, and I hear, well, why do women leave? And the most dangerous survivor is when they're leaving. For me, prime example, I thought, okay, I'm going to get out, and
Mm.
that's the hard most of the time. So we have to be vigilant of the people that we're saying. Have to be supportive. And hey, leave. The situation is a lot more complicated than that, and also learning that there are types of domestic violence as well. There's the
Right.
person that abuse. And now I know and I understand that, mental abuse is very real, emotional abuse is very real, of course, the physical, and then you also have financial. There are a lot of different
And
layers to this.
I just found out recently, cyberbullying is a part of domestic violence. So it's the list is long.
High school, I got into back from for like 13. My friend has done YZ. That was so young age. Think about it like that. If a child something like this, by the time these things have it for life, you know, try to blame them and try to ask why did you point blank asking abuse, why are you aggressive,
Right.
instead of trying to pick what this was receive this hurt. Nobody deserves beaten, bashed, broken down, even on, like I said, a verbal level. Nobody deserves that. So it's very serious, very real. And for me, speaking out and sharing my story, that has helped me a lot. Like I said, it started to be therapeutic to me to tell this
Right.
story, because I was able to look at it as something outside of me, instead of
Hmm.
for so long dealing with it and thinking of it as it becoming who I was. You know what I mean?
Right.
When I was able to stand up for myself and say, this is what I went through, this is what I learned from it, it made me feel very, and it still now, it makes me feel
Powerful.
very brave, very
Mm.
strong, that I was able to get past that. So I urge who's gone through any type of domestic abuse or domestic violence relationship to, of course, get out in a safe way. Come up with a plan to get out, and find the people around you, whether they be friends, family, co-workers, colleagues, peers. Find the people in your community who are knowledgeable about domestic violence, who can give you real advice, real support,
Right.
who can connect you to, the different things. They're safe houses, because, like I said, sometimes people stay in these relationships because
There's no out.
they don't have anywhere else to go,
Hmm.
and
Basically.
so and it's been going on for so long that it's become their new norm. And so once we can kind of educate everyone and get our communities involved, it makes it easier for victims and survivors like myself to have a place to go. Because, like I said, the black eyes and the bruises, the surgeries, those scars heal, but there's still a person
The
who has,
inside.
who's left to put their life back together after going through something so traumatic. And so after going through everything, the trial, the sentencing, that's when I began to look into advocacy and look into, just connect people. And I went to an event back in 2018. It was my first event. I was nervous and, scared. And it was a memorial, and
Uh-huh.
they showed all of the victims who had passed away in the past 2 years. So there was a table full of different photographs, and their families were there to speak for them. And it was so eye opening, liberating. Say, look at people. I feel so bad, but here are all these people to share their stories anymore. They have someone else here
The
because
telling
they didn't make
stories, yeah.
right because they didn't make it. Is what fueled my fire to start my story. Really learning about me because it was unique to me, and the next person was unique to them. So it gave me else to be very passionate about, and from there I started my foundation, the Jakare for Fecunda Life for Their Life Foundation. With the foundation, we focus a lot on domestic violence, spreading awareness, highlighting, different signs. But also we have a really big focus on mental health because, like I said, I realized that some of the hardest work I had to do to rebuild myself
Was the
from
mental.
myself, was putting myself back together after something so traumatic, and like I said, at such a young age.
Right.
So mental health matters. PTSD is real. Anxiety
Yes.
is real.
And those triggers
Um,
that you have to deal with.
exactly. And like I said, it's gonna be different for everyone. And
Hmm.
so, for people who are if you have a friend or a family member, a coworker, whatever it is, if you know someone who's dealing with domestic violence, I tell people just be patient and understanding with them
Right.
because you can't even begin to imagine the things that we as survivors have to deal with and have to face on a day-to-day basis. And I thank God that I am where I am today.
And
I got
everybody
myself
have to leave
back
on their own time. We have to
and
be
that's
that person to be there for them when they do get ready to leave, because everybody
exactly.
don't leave at the same time. Some people leaving might be the graveyard, and it's hard to say because
Exactly.
you just never know what their situation is at the time.
Exactly. Like I said, leaving may be the graveyard, or it may just be something that's so scary to them because this person has, kind of just basically embedded in them that they're not good enough, that they
Right.
can't make it without
Yeah,
them.
knock
So
their
I just want to
self-esteem
say
down.
exactly. You definitely have to be patient and be understanding. I think on average they say it takes a woman 7 times to leave. And so whereas on the outside looking in, it may be a no-brainer to you to leave, but you
But
have
it's
to
not
understand
for her.
that the dynamics of what's going on in that household is going to be completely different for the person who's actually going through it. So with that's why it is so important to have these conversations and to talk about it so that people can understand what it looks like, and what it
Hmm.
feels like, so that if they ever come across someone who's in that situation, that they can be a helping hand instead of someone who actually makes the situation worse by judging, by blaming, by
Hmm.
gaslighting. Because it's a lot to walk away from, and it is also a lot to rebuild yourself from. And it's a lot of time to do that. And thankfully I'm in a place now to where I have healed, and I tell myself that this is something that I'm always going to have to push through. I'm
Right.
always going to have to compete. There's no quick fix, no band-aid to put on
Oh
and say,
no.
okay, well,
This
that's
took years.
right. It doesn't work like that. My life, that's near and dear to me. Any case of domestic violence, because people deal with, and I've had to face. So I'm at a point from being a fine, but also in order for me to move on, I really worry, and I do have to learn. Still have my moments to where it feels brain all over again. I'm at
Mm.
my body is different. I physical scars, these flashbacks, and these memories. So a person where situation where it's very heavy. So I just want everyone to be mindful and to be considerate.
You going out.
It's a
You
lot.
going in and out.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I urge everyone to be considerate and to be mindful when dealing with people who are in these types of relationships and situations, because there are a lot of different layers and dynamics that contribute to the overall picture. Um, but on the other side of having something so terrible happen to me at such a young age, I thank God that I was able to come out of it fully, to
Right.
still be right now in good health, in good spirit,
Yeah, because
and to
it
not have
can
allowed that to really,
it can tear your spirit down a
yeah,
whole lot. So if you don't have that positive circle around you, so it's hard to get back up. So that's good that you're in good spirit and willing to move on. Because some women just get in that hut and don't want to move on at all. So that's a good thing.
yeah. It's a blessing, because I'm telling you, even for me, I can remember the days when I a couple of months and I was like, wow, my life will never be the same.
Right.
With that. That's why I say we have to just really support one another and love on one another, because it's a lot to deal with, and it's very hard, especially when you don't have support.
Right. So let's talk about this. In the beginning, when you first started the relationship with your ex, how was it? Did you feel safe with him? Did you ever notice anything that you should have been aware of? Did you ever feel not safe, or did you feel safe with him in the beginning?
In the beginning, we dated, young, like years. But I can't say no were things that could have been red flags, because I think how they say things, and then sometimes you don't know what to look for, you can't see it. I remember the day of the attack, said something to me. He said this could end bad, and I just because I didn't
Right,
know take that serious. Like, what do you mean? What are you talking about?
right,
Not knowing that you've already planned in your mind what you want. So that's why I tell you, definitely pay attention to what someone tells you. So like I said, if someone can figure their lips and they will hurt you, you need to. So and I think those not being informed, not knowing what to look for. So I felt safe with him at the beginning. When that started to change, I feel like I tried to move past it. So I was trying to look at him for all of those bad things, thinking I had the power to change to change him, and we can't change or say
nope,
ourselves. We have to be willing to change, still. Um, so I think to me that was the big, not really paying attention and not understanding what I should have done.
your phone is breaking up.
Oh, okay. I was saying that really thing was, the fact that I pay for things, but also the fact that I know to pay attention to, so it all goes back to important it is to spread awareness and to talk about it so that people can know, because talking to other men, there were a lot of things that jump out, and I was like, oh, that's saying you can at that point begin to link the different behaviors and
Right,
factors, start to understand, what domestic violence is, and how the different abuse go about. Because a lot of things that when I really learned about domestic violence, I was like, oh, well, that was happening.
right.
That I know. So it's very easy to kind of fall the crack. I
Right.
tell people, no one is ever just sitting down and saying, "Hey, you know, this person, I love that." You fall in love with the person they present themselves.
To
No
you.
one's gonna
Yeah.
go first date and put a gun in your head and say, "Okay, let's build a happy." Usually, they're manipulating you, they're coercing you,
Yeah.
they're charming you, they're whining and dining. For me, I was in a relationship for a period of time. Someone who I thought that I thought that they loved me, loved them, and so snuck up on me because I was prepared that way. So we definitely do take time to like really know the person relationship. How do they treat other people? How do they treat their previous partner? All those things. How do they act when how do they act when irritating? Those things make a big difference. I
Right. Mm-hmm.
I was able to check and realize where I may have
Miss some
um
things.
yeah.
So when you're in a relationship, I know we have our little ups and downs, and we may fight in relationship. So when y'all had a fight and y'all had a disagreement, what did that fight look like, or did y'all ever have any fights in a relationship before all this happened?
Yes, ma'am. We did. Hold on. I'm trying to. My charger fell down. Okay.